Musa Bosju and several other bananas are hardy here in our area of Tennessee. And I am with Richard Smith this morning, who is an expert banana grower. As you can see behind me, he has a forest of bananas. And while I'm guessing that these bananas are hardy, he actually digs all of them up. Everything that you see behind us here comes out of the ground and into his garage for the winter. So tell me about this process that you go through every year.
Well, first of all, when I dig them up, I put them in a plastic bag, put them in the garage.
And you have a unique system for doing that.
Just line them up like this on sawhorses. And I water them about once a month.
Yeah.
During the winter
time. Just to keep them not from drying out, desiccating, and shriveling up.
And they actually start
put out
growing.
Leaves.
Still growing,
if they're warm enough, sure.
And so it's and then when time to come, put them back out.
Plant them back out. They reestablish themselves. You cut the leaves off when you take them in. Just take the trunks. Or?
I cut most of the leaves off. I left up 3 or 4
at the top. Yeah.
And when they come back, they just start right off.
They just start right off. Interesting. What about fertilizing, watering through the summer, that sort of thing, maintenance-wise on your bananas?
I've got an irrigation system that waters most of it, but I probably water them maybe once a month at the most.
And do you feed them?
No.
No?
No.
They just
grow
like this big on their own?
On their own.
That's amazing. Do you get fruit?
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Never know when one's going to do it.
Right.
But it is delicious.
So the general rule of thumb that I can tell you is that it takes about 15 to 18 months for an individual tree to fruit. So
probably,
yeah. If you're overwintering them in the garage, in theory, if their trunk lives over the winter, they should have the ability to fruit that following year. You may not always get fruit, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
you just never know.
Yeah, I know when I had a big clump in the garden outdoors, I would cut it back to about 4 feet, mulch it heavy, and if I got new stems out of that old growth the following year, a lot of times I would get a clump of bananas, but they very rarely ripened because they just didn't have enough time. There are a few species of bananas that are hardy here in Middle Tennessee. One is called the Japanese fiber banana, or Musa Bosju. Another one that is fairly reliable is Musa velutina, or the pink velvet banana. And it's a fun one because it produces a really ornamental pink flower cluster and little pink fuzzy bananas that are really sweet. They're full of seeds. You just end up spitting out a mouthful of seeds, but they're edible and they're very good. There are a couple of others, but those are the 2 that are most reliable here that I have found in Middle Tennessee. And in fact, the Japanese fiber banana will grow all the way up into St. Louis, Kansas City, Louisville, hardy in the ground. But I will say the other thing from a maintenance standpoint, and I know you go to a lot of work to haul all of these in and out every year, but I love the way that you have them distanced and spaced out so that you can really see their form. If you leave them in the ground, you get these huge clumps that, and this is no joke, after 4 or 5 years you would need a backhoe to pull them out of the ground if you ever wanted to move them or remove them. And a lot of work and a lot of labor. So any other tips about bananas that you can give us while we're...
That's about it. It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Just the hardest part is moving them in and out.
Yes.
I would imagine. The most laborious part anyway.
Yes. And watch them grow.
Well, thank you for imparting your knowledge to us today about growing bananas, and obviously you do it very, very successfully.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.